Thank you all. So my name is Lucas Hall. I'm from Long Live the Kings. We're a nonprofit with 30 years of experience restoring wild salmon and steelhead and supporting sustainable fisheries in the Pacific Northwest. If y'all walk away with anything in this talk, I want you to walk away with the knowledge that nonprofit is just a tax filing status. We do innovative things, we're able to respond to new technology, and we're able to make big changes fast. So if you want to make a difference and you want to develop still, nonprofits have a space for you. So what more do we do? We are working in a few areas. First of all, we advance science, and we do that through our research. We do a lot of research in the marine environment. We talk about how salmon and steelhead are suffering from low survival rates in the marine environment, specifically the Salish Seas. We also retool management. We work with state managers to help instill better management practices for salmon. And lastly, we rebuild populations. We have a hatchery on Hood Canal and Lilywop. We also have a hatchery on Orcas Island. We employ innovative hatchery techniques and to decrease the impact on wild fish that hatchery production has. So what does that all help? It helps these and this, more like that. These beautiful steelhead that you all probably love to eat, and if you are anglers too, you probably love to fish. So let's talk a little bit more about marine survival. Marine survival is a problem in the Salish Sea. That's the combined waters of Puget Sound, Strait of Juan Fuca, and Strait of Georgia. And we see lower survival rates. And what we do is we use tracking technology to identify where mortalities of salmon and steelhead are occurring. That tracking technology uses acoustic technology. We trap wild salmon in these screw traps you see on freshwater streams. We tag them using high-tech radio receivers. I think these run about $300 a piece. They're not cheap, and we never get them back. So a lot of money gets put into this. And the receivers are put periodic places around the Puget Sound, and the tags you can see right here. These are the receivers, and we place them all along. You can see all these blue dots is where the receivers go. They triangulate the signals from the steelhead out migrating from their natal streams to the Puget Sound, or excuse me, the Pacific Ocean, and we're able to identify mortality along the way. This is one example at the Hood Canal floating bridge. Many of you may be familiar with it, especially when it's open and causing you traffic delays. You'll see that we use this acoustic tracking technology to identify where mortalities are occurring so we can implement solutions. So what's the problem? We need to figure out a way to package all of this research and all this information in a way that's digestible, that creates investment from people like you, tech-savvy young people that are going to be future donors and long sustainable contributors to salmon restoration. So we don't want to communicate like Harry and Lloyd talking about who can triple stamp a double stamp. We want to communicate like this guy and this guy and this guy even, right? These people are employing modern technology and understanding modern marketing practices, and that's what we wanted to do today, because there's nothing limiting nonprofits from employing and getting ahead of the curve in these sort of situations. So, which brings us to Survive the Sound, developed in partnership with Paul Allen's Vulcan Incorporated. This uses a variety of avatars to humanize fish and connect people. So we're trying to translate this really complicated technology into an accessible platform that everyone can resonate with. So in this campaign, users are allowed to choose between 48 different fish, each of their unique personality and avatar, and then you're able to purchase those by making a donation to help salmon recovery, and then you're able to gift them to friends, again, building off of the things that we've learned in the private industry, competition, marketing, creating social networks. That's all going to help our campaign and help salmon recovery. Then you get to look at all these and compare, again, building off those same principles, following different friends. You can see how we got all these ideas from, using Facebook and that sort of stuff, and all that fun jazz. So you'll see during the campaign, we're going to build up, starting March 15th, selling sponsorships to May 8th and through May 8th through May 19th, the actual out-migration of steelhead. So they migrate in real time out. And then we're able to feed you data as your salmon are migrating out of the stream, and you're going to see if your steelhead that you sponsored is doing well surviving it. Along the way, you're going to figure out what sort of pressure steelhead face, and it's going to educate the public and create additional investment in salmon recovery using this sort of technology, again, creating kind of a virtual reality for the steelhead experience. So this is the time where you can get out your phones and hashtag GoFishGo, take a picture of this and help us build a lot of momentum for this campaign. Starting March 15th, you're going to be able to go on to survivethesound.org, sponsor a steelhead, compete with your friends, and find out if your fish survives the sound. Oh, and I got hats for questions. Who wants one? Down front. Oops, that's his. Don't quote me on. We're not partnering with them, first of all.
Lucas, please repeat the question.
Oh, so are we partnering with people involved with dam restoration and fish passage? And the answer is no, not for this current iteration. The cool thing about this campaign, we built out all this back-end technology so that if an organization who is trying to bring awareness to fish passage at dams, they could use a similar platform or our platform to create that sort of campaign and send the message. I believe dams use a different type of tagging, which is kind of getting in the weeds, but no. Way back there. That's a problem for y'all to solve. You can come get your hat too. Right there. So it's acoustic. So acoustics uniquely, advantageous in the water, like a marine environment, because acoustic waves travel so well. And they collect data on these receivers, and so they're constantly transmitting. Don't quote me on this. I'm in the policy, not the science side of the business. It's like 30 to 45 seconds, I believe, they emit a unique acoustic signal that is received by all these transmitters. At the end of the season, we go and physically retrieve these sensors somehow, sometimes sitting like 300 feet below the surface, and we like pull all this data off of way in back. Oh, sorry. Sorry? You can't fit a GoPro in the belly of a 6-inch salmon. But thank you for the idea. Right there?
If we're out in the stream and we're anglers and we happen to catch a fish that has a sensor, how would we know?
You would see it in the belly of the fish. There'll be a small little, it looks like a fat Tic Tac or something. It's like a black thing. And really, they're worthless to us now. But if you find one, please, you can contact WDFW probably, and they'll submit or get in contact with them. But just know that you're one of the lucky few. Only 20% of these fish survive in their out migration. So if you catch one, that's a very lucky thing. So be proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucas.